Hey everyone, today we're diving into a landmark English contract law case that has had a significant impact on the principles of economic duress and consideration. Pao On and Lau Yiu Long, which is a pivotal case from the House of Lords. It addresses key issues in contract law, particularly around economic duress and consideration. The facts of this case are fascinating, and the legal principles it established continue to influence contract law to this day. The parties in this case were Pao On and his family, who were shareholders in the company, and Lau Yiu Long, who represented a group of investors. The dispute arose over a sale and leaseback arrangement concerning shares in the company called Shin On. Here's a brief timeline of events. Pao On agreed to sell his shares in Shin On to Full Chip Investment Company, controlled by Lau Yiu Long. As part of the arrangement, Pao On will retain some shares but agree not to sell them for a year to stabilize the share price. Pao On was concerned about potential losses if the share price fell, so the parties agreed that Full Chip would indemnify him against any such losses. This agreement was later modified to a guarantee agreement where Lau Yiu Long personally guaranteed the indemnity. Pao On was also concerned about the enforceability of this guarantee. Therefore, another agreement was made where Lau Yiu Long promised to buy back the shares at a fixed price if the share price fell below a certain level. The dispute arose when the share price did fall and Pao On sought to enforce the guarantee. Lau Yiu Long argued that the guarantee was not enforceable due to a lack of consideration, and that Pao On had exerted economic duress to obtain the agreement. The case went all the way to the House of Lords. The Lords had to consider two main issues. Number one, was there valid consideration? Number two, was the agreement obtained under economic duress? Consideration in contract law refers to something of value exchanged between the parties involved in a contract. It is a fundamental requirement for the formation of a valid contract. Each party must provide consideration, which could be in the form of money, goods, services, or a promise to do or not to do something. This ensures that there is mutual exchange that binds the parties to their promises. For example, in a sale contract for the sale of goods, the buyer's payment of money is consideration for the seller's promise to deliver the goods, while the goods delivered are the consideration for the buyer's payment. Without consideration, a contract is generally not enforceable. Consideration must also be sufficient but need not be adequate. First, on the issue of consideration, the House of Lords held that there was valid consideration for the guarantee. They emphasized that a promise to perform an existing contractual duty can constitute good consideration if the promisee obtains a practical benefit or obviates a disbenefit. In this case, Pao On's promise not to sell the shares for a year was deemed to provide a practical benefit to Lau Yiu Long by helping to stabilize the share price of Shin On. This fulfilled the requirement of consideration. Now let's move on to economic duress. The House of Lords provided a comprehensive analysis. They concluded that for economic duress to render a contract voidable, there must be coercion of the will, which vitiates consent. Key factors include the absence of a realistic alternative, the presence of illegitimate pressure, and whether the party protested at the time. Pao On and Lau Yiu Long, the House of Lords found that although Pao On exerted some pressure, it did not amount to illegitimate economic duress. There was no coercion that vitiated Lau Yiu Long's consent. Therefore, the guarantee was enforceable. This case is a cornerstone in contract law, illustrating how the courts balance the principles of consideration and economic duress. It shows that the law recognizes practical benefits as valid consideration and sets a high threshold for proving economic duress. If you found this case summary helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more legal insights. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.